Alright guys, so I am completely finished at the library. I'm headed over to my daughter's house so we can feed Penelope and Charlie. And I might even Postmate today. Let me look at this. I think I'm gonna Postmate today. Yeah, I thought I was gonna have to print some stuff off and scan it back into the system, but I guess not. Everything was electronic signature. They even accepted the electronic signature for my background check, which is not a bad thing. They sent me an email and said they're in process of, the background check is in process. I scheduled my drug test. Actually, a lady called me this morning and asked me if I could take it by tomorrow afternoon. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that today because I'm going to LabCorp over by my daughter's house. So everything is done, yay! I guess I can officially say I am an employee person again because I got my offer letter. The background check is in process, which I'm not worried about that. It's a 7-year background check. Not even worried about that. Drug test, gotta go do that. That's gonna be checked off. I don't have to worry about that. Got my offer letter, yes. I'm so excited. So what can I tell y'all about the company that I'm be working for? What I can tell you, it has a long reach. It has 80,000 employees, so it's not no small company by any means. It operates in all over the United States, Canada, and the UK. It is medical. I'm still in the medical industry. What will I be doing? It's not in leadership, which I don't mind that. Well, technically it is. Technically, it is still kind of sort of in leadership. I just won't be responsible for individuals. I'll be a account manager. So I'll be responsible for a portfolio of hospitals and territory and the field technicians in those areas. But the field technicians still won't report directly to me. They'll report to their supervisors who will get feedback from me. So I'm loving it. Oh my gosh, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. This has been a journey. I've learned some valuable things from my last position to set clear, precise boundaries. And you can't be sympathetic and empathetic and compassionate with everybody. Sometimes you just got to stand back and let people do them and just cut yourself off from them and only deal with them like, how you doing? Good morning, how you doing? And keep it moving. My last job, y'all, oh my gosh. I think I did a vlog about my staff trying to bully me. These people were mean for no reason. Like there was one occasion they took me to HR, Vanette, the girl I had to fire a couple of years ago, who had been there 28 years, went to HR and told them that I was racist. I hired a young Asian girl. Vanette then ran to HR and told them that I walked the girl down the middle of the apartment and said, look, y'all, I hired a Chinese doll. So they didn't call this little girl. The little girl was like, I'm not Chinese, I'm Vietnamese. I said, and I knew that, so why would I say I have the China doll? I said, before they lie, they should at least got her ethnicity correct. But anyway, they didn't call this little girl. The little girl was like, no, she never did that. The little girl then texted me and was like, I'm so sorry, I don't know why they doing this, what's going on? That little girl was out of there in 4 months. She was like, I've never worked in an environment like this. The tenured staff was the most offensive ones. Vanette, Laura, Evelyn. It was another one. No, it was just them 3. My daughter used to call them the old lady gang. Those 3 were the most offensive. Vanette was really aggressive. I remember one time I was in my office dealing with somebody's payroll and she came in and was doing like this. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Because I always had an open door policy. I'm like, you see me standing here talking to someone about their payroll. Can you just give me a minute? I never looked at her. I just told her, I'm like, can you just give me a minute? This girl, not even girl, because she was older than me, grabs my face and said, well, when you talk to me, I need you to look at me. I said, wait a minute. And I told everybody to get in my office. I shut my door. And if y'all go back in the videos, y'all will see my office won't but a broom closet. I got up and was pacing. I was like, I know this girl did not put her hand in my face. I know this girl did not put her hand in my face. I said, you know what? Let me do this because I'm too triggered right now. I called a young lady that I was working on the payroll with, got her issue, called my boss. I said, I'm leaving for the day. She was like, what's going on? I was like, I'm leaving for the day. I'm not feeling being here right now. I explained to her what was going on. She was like, take the day off and just cool off, because I kept saying, if I look at this girl, I'm going to want to push her. You don't put your hand in people's face. The same girl that did that, I don't know why I keep calling her girl because she was over 50. Anyway, the same person that did that, y'all wound up having to terminate her. Let me tell y'all, she was on a final because she just could not get it together. Her husband had left her. She lost her place after 13 years, was in her apartment, lost her apartment. She wound up in a hotel. Husband wound up leaving her. And I'm like, oh, you know, she going through a lot. Let me just try to be understanding, even though she's an offensive, inappropriate type person. She gets to a final for bullying a staff member. There was this young girl in an apartment that she was bullying, and it would tear me up. And I would tell the girl, she's taking these steps because you keep, you know, trying to make yourself smaller and smaller. She had an amazing husband. Her husband would bring her flowers at least once a week, bring her candy, come up there, hug her. Amazing young man. This was a young couple. And I would pull Vanette, I said, and Vanette, Evelyn, and Laura were bullying this girl. And I asked Vanette, I said, why don't you like her? Like, she's a good worker, she's a good person. Because she was close with the last supervisor, and I feel like she's trying to be the supervisor's pet with you. I was like, I like her. She's a genuinely nice person. Would you want me to like you and not like her because we're black? We're black? No, that's not how it works. I look at the content of the character and not the color of the skin. Because me and you are from the same race don't mean that we're the same type people. So anyway, Vanette just kept doing stuff. Anyway, she wound up on a final. She did like 2 other things that could have got her fired, but I just wrote it up and kind of shoved it to the side, just documented, let her know, I know you did this stuff. And I wrote it up like in an employee's journal where I just said I coached her about it. But I didn't want to take it to the extreme where I was terminating her. And I even would reach out to HR and they would say, what is your call? And I would tell them I documented it just to protect myself in case it ever came up. So one day, Miss Vanette then ran to the office and told them I was targeting her. I said, what? So what? I don't know if Evelyn and Laura was putting a bug in her ear trying to get her to rile her up so I could lose my job by acting crazy, but I was not willing to give them that control. So when she did that, I submitted everything to HR. And I told her, I said, you know I was covering you for a lot of stuff you was doing. I said, I'm no longer covering you anymore. I said, anything you do, it will be reported officially. She was like, well, I was really, I was paranoid. I said, well, you got a reason to be paranoid now. I said, I'm going to report you. So you better be on your P's and Q's. Stay on your P's and Q's. I was never targeting for your job. You could have been fired months ago, but I covered for you. I said, but I'm not covering for you anymore. She forgot to call the STEMI doctor, and guess what happened? We sitting there, the patient in the emergency room, the cath lab people are there, they didn't prep the patient and waiting for the doctor, you know, orders, and the doctor she called was like, I'm not on call, y'all need to call whoever is on call. Y'all, let me tell y'all the excuse she gave. I called both of them simultaneously. I said, what do you mean? She said, I dialed the numbers together. I said, there's no way you did that on one phone. I said, please don't play with my intelligence. I don't feel like playing with. Well, I'm just saying. I said, well, I'm going to have to do my due diligence and what's necessary. I said, but you have a good day, because she was getting off. Child called my supervisor. My supervisor at the time called her and said, do not come back to work pending investigation. She came back to work and signed her termination papers. Now, mind you, this woman for months tried to get me fired, written up, or anything. After she told these people I was targeting her, needed me to cover her to keep her job. Nope. Then after she got termed, she tried to take me to the EOC. I still got the EOC papers because they give you a copy of the complaint, especially if you're in the complaint. So they gave me the EOC papers and she said it was age discrimination. I was like, oh, okay, so we both women, we both black, so the only thing she could come up with was age. All right. I met with the director of HR and the EEOC investigator. That mess went nowhere. Nowhere. Documentation beats conversation. I'm always CYA. So, long story short, y'all, my last position was very stressful. To say the least, I dealt with people who were tasteless and tacky and just had no boundaries to the levels of lowness that they would go. So I'm glad I don't have to deal with that anymore. I thought Charlotte traffic was bad. California traffic is awful. My heart can't take no more. I keep on running back. What's up, guys? Y'all, it's the end of the night for me anyway. Remember I was telling y'all that story time earlier? Well, one of my employees called me with an issue about some paperwork we had signed so she could keep her schedule after I left. And the current supervisor is trying to change the schedule, but he can't because she signed a per diem agreement. She only works one day a week, and that's Saturday.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I read your text message. I'm sorry, I had to drop Shane off. I'm headed out to get some gas. So I read the messages that you sent me in the email. I see you trying to refer you to the why?
Because she's his boss.
Oh, so he does report. He's not going to know anything because he didn't become the manager until after I left. So
That's why I told him.
Yeah, but this is what you do. Tell him to go into your file and look at the per diem agreement that we signed when I was there. That should solidify the fact that you said that you could only work that Saturday. That's the only day you could work. And you've been there longer than any other per diem, so basically you have seniority over them.
And that's what I put in the email.